Hello. Check, check. Hi, Louise. Did you see the invitation in your email? Question mark. Just click on it and it should allow you to join the meeting. Smiley face. Oh, there she is. Hello? Hi, Louise. Are you there? Oh, you're muted. Here we go. There. Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, and I can hear you as well.
Oh, wow.
You're unmuted. You look
Yeah.
you're looking good.
Thank you. So are you.
uh, you know, um, at some point, I'd like to help you connect an Ethernet cable. I can even send you one. I have so many around here.
Oh,
This
really?
is well, this is my recording studio, my music
Yeah.
studio. You can see it a little bit, right? Uh-oh,
Yes.
my power
That's
cable
great.
just popped out. Um, so for a later time, I'd like to send you an Ethernet cable,
Okay.
and then with your camera, you can show me your modem in the
Hmm.
modem router and show me your computer, and it's a very easy thing to connect the Ethernet cable. I mean, the image is much clearer and the connection is much better than we had last time. Would you agree?
Oh, sorry. Um, so the cable can it go from one room to another?
If you have a
Because
long enough cable,
it's way over in another part of the house.
oh,
It's like,
your modem is way
yeah,
over in another part of the
yeah,
house.
yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get around to that sometime. If
Okay.
it's
Check
just
it out.
it seems like a pretty good connection this time though.
It does. I think the extra speed helps,
Oh,
hopefully.
definitely.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you went to the AT&T fiber optic, so they did the fiber optic cable?
Yeah, yes.
Good.
AT&T. Yeah,
Excellent. Well, I'm glad I could advise you on that because
right.
AT&T is the only one that has the thousand megabyte, in other words, a gigabyte per second speed,
Yes.
Oh,
I know that. I was reading that some people couldn't get it. They're in different parts of the city and they don't have
correct.
that option.
Correct. It wasn't even available here until about 6 months ago. Finally,
Wow.
it became available in this area.
Hmm.
It really helps me out because I do a lot of audio and video files, uploading and downloading. So
Ah,
it improves the speed enormously, which
so
makes it more
much.
pleasant for everyone.
Yeah, I love AT&T. I used to dislike them, but I love them now. They're
Yeah,
much better than they were.
yeah, your bandwidth, the audio, the video, everything is much better. So I'm keeping it simple this time. I'm not adding other cameras on tripods and all that stuff. But
Okay.
I do have I've powered speakers. You can see them powered speakers on the piano,
Uh-huh.
so it boosts the volume, so I can hear you better.
Oh, good.
and I'm using the. Oh, Kathy just sent a message. Thank you. I sent your. How funny! I just sent your song in two different keys, which is the
Oh,
falling in love.
oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. So she wanted me to send it to her in both B flat and C.
Oh,
So she'll find out what is the best key for you to sing it in.
I didn't know I was doing it this time. I was doing something else,
Oh,
but that's okay.
I hope I didn't spoil a surprise.
Yeah, no, I guess must have been a surprise that she's going to pull on me next Tuesday. No, Monday. No,
Yeah,
Tuesday.
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure she said that one was for you, and then,
Ah,
um, in a most unusual way, that song, that beautiful
I love
Laura
that.
Yeston song. I sent that to her. That is going to be for Margie, I believe.
Oh,
Anyway,
cute.
so she's coming up. Kathy's coming up with a whole new batch of songs. Here we go again.
Yeah. Oh, great. I'm glad.
So good. We can actually hear each other and see each other. This is
Yeah, I know. I was
fantastic.
hoping it would work because my computer has been always it's difficult because I don't know what happened the last time, but it was overheating.
That's it's lucky that you didn't have to replace the whole hard drive or something.
Right. I was worried about that too. My computer said HP was telling me that I would need a new hard drive.
Oh,
And so
no.
I don't know. So I brought it over to my guys on Robertson and they said, oh no, we looked everywhere and there's nothing, no problem at all. It's just that you are overheated.
Well,
So
I think we were all overheating, not the
yeah,
computers, but there's
exactly.
this thing well, at least in the Mac operating system world, there's this built-in software called SMC. It's the important thing is that the SMC controls when your little fan goes on and off. And
Oh,
even laptops, I'm on a laptop right now. Even laptops have to have little fans to ventilate to get rid of the excess
yeah, I remember that
heat.
from years ago.
That can destroy circuit boards and melt things down. So
So you have a warning.
yeah, and there are there are programs that you could run that will test your hardware on your computer, and it will
Oh,
give you a warning. It will let you know in advance if something is starting to fail.
I see.
And if you can catch it before it fails, you can still save the computer
Yeah,
usually. Well,
right.
good. Now this is working. I only have about 25 minutes left
Okay.
today, but this
So,
is just sort of a getting to know you.
yeah, right.
This is our getting to know each other session. For
Yes,
this, anyway, of course, we know each other through the musical theater class and Kathy.
yes, yes.
But can you tell me a little bit about your musical experience in Kathy said you were playing piano as a young girl?
Well, I took lessons at the assistance of my wonderful mother, who found a piano teacher, and my mother was always interested in music, and so she had me plugging away at 9 or 10. I don't know how old I was,
Good, good.
for a
Earlier the
few
better.
years, but at least I got a basic thing. I went off and did other things, and I didn't pay attention to music anymore, except for our glee club at high school and so forth. But
Okay,
I'm glad it stays with you. You know, you learn to read music,
it
and
does.
that's great. I mean, I didn't appreciate it till a few years ago.
Well, what I'm getting from this is that this may have encouraged you to go into singing because if you have some basic music knowledge and you can
Right.
read music and
Hmm.
it's not, a frightening thing in any way. A lot of singers usually play some other instrument or they started out younger playing another instrument. So
Yeah.
I encourage every singer, no matter what level they are at, to also learn piano for some
Hmm.
obvious reasons. They can then teach themselves things on the piano. They can check their pitches, learn their songs. That helps.
Yeah.
But also they could learn more easily about harmony and harmonic
Hmm.
progressions and changes and these
Yeah.
things to listen for in all genres of music.
Hmm.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's jazz or musical theater or classical or opera or what.
I
This
know. That's what I would love to have been doing all this time and learning how to be a musician more than just reading music,
Well, you already are a musician,
but
obviously,
to
and you've
be
been
able
singing
to,
with choirs for years, so you have a firm foundation, probably more than you realize. And the wonderful thing is that when students come to me because they want to learn music, they're not. I'm not saying your mother forced you, but often parents said, "Now you go to that lesson,"
right.
and that that can kind of turn the kid off sometimes to music. But you weren't turned off. You just moved on to other things.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to take it seriously. So,
Sure.
so I left it alone and used it for music as far as singing.
Perfect. Well, this is an
Yeah.
excellent tie-in to getting back to your piano. And
Hmm.
I am, whatever age the student may be, I am very open to suggestions of whatever songs they want to play. And
Hmm.
then if I start to feel that there are gaps in their repertoire, or pieces that they might not know about but
Hmm.
might be interested in, or pieces they've always wanted to learn. It's like Satie. Let's say you want to learn that
Yes,
famous Satie Jean
that
Lopeti,
is, yeah. Mhm.
then we learn that, and there's absolutely
Yes.
nothing to fear because
Hmm.
music is so broad. It can be challenging to play a very simple piece like Mozart, because
Hmm.
Mozart is so exposed, right?
Yeah.
The melodies might sound simple, but there can be a challenge in another way.
Yeah, I have some books. Let's see, I have this one. It's called Easy Piano Classics.
Okay, good,
It
good. That's a
has from
great
the,
start.
yeah, beginnings, easier ones, minuets, and all those things. I kind of did a few of those just to,
You know
but,
what would be helpful a little further down the road, if you'd be kind enough to scan the index page just with the titles
oh, yeah.
and send that to me. No rush. We could do that, later. We already have 4 or 5 pieces, I think, going here. But
Yes, they do, I know. So this is the book I use for the best songs. This is
oh
the,
yes, that's a very familiar. Yes, they still publish that, and Kathy and I have the earlier editions of that same anthology. It
yeah.
changes a little because sometimes the copyright licensing changes, and so they have to sometimes exclude songs, or they're able to include other ones
Oh,
they were not able to
hmm.
previously because of copyright reasons.
Yeah.
So when you get around to it, you scan and send the index page of the other book, the Easy
Okay.
Classics, because
Sure.
I'm sure we can find several in there that we both agree on might be good for you to
Mhm.
learn, but you want to learn because you love the songs to begin with.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I will
Well,
do that.
what I would love to hear
Hmm.
is just a doesn't even have to be the entire piece, but just play a little bit of maybe 2 or 3 pieces.
Okay.
I'll be quiet because
Okay.
this is we're not starting on the actual pedagogy yet. This is just for me to get acquainted with where you are, wherever it is. It doesn't matter where you are,
Yeah.
and
In the beginning. The beginning.
well, that's good. That's how I'm
Yeah.
best able to help you, just to see where you are. And
Okay.
this is on your own time. We're not
Uh-huh.
on the clock per se. I mean, I will have to go, but
Yeah.
just play a little bit for me
Okay.
at your own leisure, okay?
Okay. Just start here. 3 coins. Okay.
And if you could announce what song you're playing each time, that would be great.
Okay. This is the 3 coins one.
Good, good, good start.
I'm nervous.
That's fine. No, you're doing great. It's wonderful. Uh-huh.
Okay, that's that one.
Okay. Uh, Actually, it might make more sense for me to comment briefly after each
Yes.
song.
Sounds
So,
good.
because I think, as you said in one of your messages, what we can do to improve with one song is going to help
That's
everything
right.
that you're learning.
Yes.
So, it comes to mind that you're a singer, you're a good singer. I'm sure you know this song by heart. You could sing all the lyrics and everything. So, um, right off the bat, what I'd like you to start doing is um, playing a very simple accompaniment, maybe even just the bass line, and singing with the song. So you'd play 3 coins in the fountain. I'm not as good a singer as you are, but this is just to demonstrate. Each one seeking happiness, thrown by 3 hopeful lovers. Which one will the fountain bless? So, what I'm demonstrating is you're going to start finding the coordination, and this won't be difficult for you, of singing and playing at the same time. Do you do some of that anyway with
I
other
do,
songs?
yeah. It's a little tricky, but I do.
Good,
Yeah.
good. I encourage that. I encourage piano students, even if they're not singers or have no interest in becoming, professional singers, to sing along. I ask my young students, my all ages, I ask them to sometimes they're studying Bach. So,
Yeah.
when you sing Bach in a chorale, which you've done, I'm sure, I ask them to play the alto part and sing the soprano part.
Oh,
This is a technique for centuries.
oh,
Music
really?
teachers have used this
Oh,
for
neat.
centuries. I did not invent it.
Oh,
So you can take any Bach chorale
uh-huh.
and you just get better and better at sight singing for one,
Yeah.
but also tuning yourself up to the other parts, and it makes your mind, your brain
Interesting.
work with coordination.
Very
So
interesting.
that's called counterpoint, right? So
Okay.
any two voices that could be. So this is counterpoint. That's just simple, the soprano and the bass line, right?
Yeah.
And this song is arranged pretty much in like a Bach chorale fashion. You know
Okay.
what voices are. So this is in 4 voices.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
what I'd like you to do is to get used to playing, first of all, the bass line. Always start from the bass
Uh-huh.
because that's the fundamental of the
Okay.
harmony.
Okay.
Start with just the bass. I know you'll sing it much better than I did. But the point is, the
Uh-huh.
other most important thing
Yeah.
that I can suggest at this point is in your practice. I'm sure you've heard this before. Even if you have to slow down to a very slow tempo,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good habit to keep the tempo going, even if you make a mistake.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
even if you have to just put a metronome for a second. This is really slow, but if you can keep going without stopping, what that does, Louise, is it trains the brain to not have these, ticks or stops in it.
Oh, so that's a good one. I like that.
Every
That's a
time.
very good idea.
It applies to singing as well. Not so much anymore, but you used to be pretty nervous getting up there in front of the musical theater class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what that does, the fear
Still
literally
have
shuts the bloodstream down. It cuts off blood to the brain, and the adrenaline is making your body ready for fight or flight. You didn't
I knew
realize
there
you were
was a
being a
reason.
cave woman. But this is true. Anytime there is fear, our instinct from time immemorial in evolution is to be ready to either fight off the threat I want to run like hell and get away from the threat. That's
Yeah.
what fear has a purpose. There's nothing wrong with fear, except when it impedes our ability to just share naturally. So this is a really slow tempo, and you have a metronome, I imagine.
I don't. I'll have to find one. I don't have one.
Now every phone, do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send you a link for a free metronome app.
Oh, good.
So you just run the app. I have one on my phone's over there, but there are zillions, there are hundreds to choose from, but I'll just send you my favorite.
Okay.
And you just use your phone as a metronome. And this also, this is not only, this is the kind of practice that even top concert professionals do.
Oh.
They slow
Good
things
discipline.
down and they take their foot off of the pedal. So I don't know if you can see the keyboard very well, but if I were learning this, I would play it as if I were playing an organ. You don't necessarily have to do this yet, but it's just the idea that instead of the fingers and the hands going like this, we've watched organists many times, I'm sure,
Yeah.
and they're. I'll just demonstrate. Can you see my hands at all?
Yeah. They're down.
And then, if once you can do that all the way through the piece, then at your own discretion, you speed up the metronome a little at a time. And if there's a section that was a little tricky, you may need to practice that phrase several times. Repeat
Yes.
the phrase. I'm just
Oh,
picking
yes.
one. For example. Oh dear, I made a mistake. Oh, one more time.
Well, I do that a lot.
Yeah. So, but the repetition has to have meaning.
Okay.
This is not repetition
The light's
because you're just
dimming.
bumping into something that is not comfortable yet.
Uh-huh.
You find the places. One of my great piano teachers, Leonid Hambro, used to always say, focus on the hard places or the places that are giving you trouble. So that every time when you come onto those places, I
Yes.
don't know if that was a place that befuddles you at all. It might be fine.
Probably is.
Okay, it changes key from
Yes.
major to minor, and through the music itself, we'll start looking at harmony in a very gentle, easy fashion.
I
I'm
like
not going to
that.
hit you with a bunch of theory and you have to memorize that or like that. I will be asking you each time we get together to play one or two scales. But this is
Oh.
just really basic,
Okay.
so I know you have the correct fingering, the best fingering for that scale, and then maybe a couple of chord progressions. But beyond that, everything that you need to learn about music can be learned through the pieces. Okay?
Yes, I thought so. Yeah, I haven't been too much except the scale C to C and that, nothing very fancy. But is there something special in the way of a scale I should practice on?
Well, you want to be versatile in all of the scales, all 24 major and
Oh,
minor
there's
scales.
there's 24. Okay.
Yeah. And so the easier you find it to play the scale of D flat, whatever, if you can play the D flat major scale and then you encounter a piece that is in D flat major, it makes sense. It's going to be easier to play, of course, right?
Okay, so where do I find these scales?
Well, was one of my questions. You said you have some Alfred books,
Oh,
student books. Which ones?
yeah, there's two student books. I'll look through those and see what they say about scales, but I
Okay,
don't-
what would be helpful? 'Cause I have
yeah, I'll
zillions.
let
I don't know if you can really see from here, but this is just a small glimpse of part of my sheet music library.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so I have literally
Mhm.
thousands of songs in different genres. So you won't need to buy anything. But what
Okay.
I'd be curious is if these books were used by you as a child and they're kind of still there, can you also scan the index, just the contents, not the whole book, obviously, just the
Okay.
contents of your of the student books that you have when you get a chance?
Okay. Yeah.
And again, no rush on that. That's just
All
a
right.
gradual thing. Should you decide to accept this mission, impossible, before it blows up, remember that show.
Yeah.
Um, th- that
Okay.
will help guide me in saying, well, okay, she already has the materials that she needs. She just needs my guidance in which ones to focus on. One thing I want you to stop me anytime if you are feeling overwhelmed by too much information, because
Okay.
that's, I'm just being honest, that's uh, one of my tendencies is I get really excited about the student, and then I just like I just give them too much.
Well, I'd love to get to that point, and maybe someday I will. But I'm
Well,
sure,
fine.
I'm sure you're taking it just the right pace at this moment, Joe. I'm happy with so far, so good
I
with your
try to.
information.
I'm still learning it. And again, this is just our getting to know you session.
Yes.
So, um,
Yeah. Wonderful.
so, so what did I just say about practicing with a metronome, or just using your good tempo sense until you load that app in?
Hmm.
No matter how slow, being able to consistently go through the entire song with a minimum of mistakes. A couple of mistakes, that's fine. But if you
Yeah.
find the mistakes are always happening in the same place, what do you
Hmm.
do?
Well, you have to go over those first and practice them before you
Right.
take on the whole piece.
Exactly. Find the phrases that are giving you any kind of trouble
Hmm.
until you smooth them out,
Yes.
and then uh, what I
Hopefully
said
not make that mistake again.
exactly what so many musicians do, and even professionals, is they build up little mental blocks that don't need to be there. Sometimes it's actually just it's I mean it was like behavioral science. They're
Mhm.
not causing the block. It's just something unconscious is getting them hung up, and this can happen as singers, as you know, as well
Mhm.
as musicians. They think the note is high, and so they're blocking themselves from singing a high note. Kathy teaches this very well, and you know exactly how
Mhm.
good
Yeah.
Kathy is about getting over those mental blocks. She's very, very good at that. It's the same thing with piano. If you have this anxiety or any kind of fear before you get to a tricky place, then more often than not, you will mess up on, not because you can't play it, but because your mind is tricking you into that.
Yes.
So the way we get over that is you almost, I don't want to say robotic, but you kind of you take your own ego out of it. So if I'm doing a thing like, and I say, oh wait, I made a mistake, and then I slow it down and I find that place, the Chopin Etude, okay?
Mm.
And I have to slow it down and look more closely at that section and see. One of my teachers said it's not usually the note or the phrase itself that causes the mistake or the problem, it's what came before it.
Mm.
So let's put it to real use. So, um, in the heart of Rome. Oh, I didn't get that. I stopped because my mind is telling me, oh, that's a skip. I have to jump to new notes that are higher. You see, this is just for
Yes, for example.
purposes of a demonstration. I don't mean that this
Yes.
is a place. So he would say, "Be prepare which You see the difference?
Uh,
My
yeah.
mind was prepared, just like Kathy says all the time. I'm gonna call on Kathy's teaching a lot because we have a lot of similarities on our approaches. It's she she asks you to sort of breathe in the next phrase and already be ready for that higher note. Don't
Oh
wait
yeah.
till you get to it. But we can be ready for it. It's the same thing with piano. Even if it's a simple piece or a fast, complicated piece, it's the mind, right? So it's kind of relaxation in preparation. And you probably seen me at the piano dozens of times do the same thing. I kind of breathe in the next phrase, and
Hmm.
I'm always, I'm singing in my head when I'm
Hmm.
accompanying singers,
Hmm.
or even when I'm playing solo. It doesn't matter. I'm singing in my head, and that's why a lot of musicians and non-musicians say that they feel that I'm singing through the piano. And this is what I want you to
Hmm.
continue to do. You're already a singer. You
Hmm.
have big advantage there. So when we come back to this song, it's not an audition, it's not a challenge, it's simply a process, learning experience. So with these various tips that I've given you, get out the kinks,
Yeah.
iron out the kinks, keep going, and I want you to start getting used to keeping going even if you've made a mistake. Do you see how
Yeah.
important that is?
Yes.
Then you can always come back to it later and say, all right, I need to look at that passage a
Yeah.
little bit more closely. But the main thing that Cody is suggesting, imparting to me, is that it can only get better if I keep going. And then if I need to fix a phrase and repeat that phrase several times, you can always go back and do that. And you
Hmm.
know what? Also, this makes just the experience of the music itself so much more pleasant. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that. And in fact, some of the mistakes I've made, especially in this type of music, really didn't sound bad. It almost sounded it was like it was right. And I thought,
Exactly.
well, that sounds just as good as what they show to play. So,
I like that attitude. Yeah, right on, Luis. I had one of the top concert pianists in the world was one of my teachers at Cal Arts, Leonid Hambro, and he would say, "Well, if you're gonna make a mistake, at least make it in the right direction." He was the straight man who worked with Victor Borge. Remember Victor Borge?
oh, right. Yes.
Well, that was my piano teacher, Leonid Hambro,
Oh, no, really.
who in a
Wow.
lot of their skits and stage stuff, that was my teacher.
Oh,
Would
for
be the
heaven.
straight
Oh,
man playing the Beethoven.
yeah.
And then Borgie would come along and mess him up, and
Mess them up.
everybody would
All off the
laugh.
page. And, yeah.
Yeah. So we can
Oh, it
definitely
is.
have a sense of humor. Just make a mistake in the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm glad you approve because I thought, I want to learn how to do that, learn how to play a chord that may not be, exactly, but it sounds good. So,
Well, see, that's where we'll get in. When you feel ready, we'll get into improvisation.
right. That'll be a
So,
while.
yeah, but so go ahead, play the
Okay.
notes as you see them now. But
Yes.
eventually, given time, I can imagine you will start going. You can play around with it. You can mess
That would be,
around with a song, and
yeah.
all that requires two things: understanding the harmony,
Mm,
and then having the facility so that your hand and your mind and your hands are completely connected. Facility of mind and inner hearing, right? And facility of dexterity. We'll get into
yeah.
technique some other time. If you have that facility and you have the imagination and you understand the harmony, there's nothing holding you back from improvising.
Yeah, I think that's something to look forward to. I'm just still learning and trying to, how would it be best to learn like the second hand on harmony part, reading it, and I'm still searching for notes sometimes. Oh, is that a C? Oh, is that a B? Well, I'm still confusing some of these,
Okay.
and I've been working at it. I can't seem to remember sometimes. It just
Well,
hit the wrong note.
one thing is that we have a kind of a roadmap here, and we have the chords. We have the same version, right? Do you see that C chord on the first measure?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then D minor seventh and the G. So that use that as a key, like a roadmap. Say, well, let's see, I know I need to play notes that are basically within the C major chord. You know what a chord is, right? Three
Yeah.
notes, a triad. Not all chords are triads. Many have extra notes or sevenths, but anyway, if this is a C major triad, I say, oh, guess what? And there's a C major scale going on. Sure enough, it all fits into C
Huh.
major triad one way or another, except we have what are called passing tones and some counterpoint. But we're going right to the next chord. So this will help you play the right notes because you'll be thinking harmonically, not
That's
just
what I
note
have
to
to
note.
study more of. I never took anything like that as far as chords. I don't remember
But
chords or harmony or majors, C major. All of that is
it'll
something I
come.
have to study.
It'll come that the only thing you need to do right now is play the music, sing along with it, keep a regular tempo, and use your inner hearing. It's what jazz musicians often call, you're
Mm.
predicting. Your inner ear is giving you a hint as to where that chord's going,
Okay.
even if you've never played it before. So I hear the bass line, even though there's no bass player right here. I'm even
Mhm.
most jazz players, especially pianists, they rarely play the root of the bass note. We'll talk about that later, because either they have a bass player with them, or they want to do more creative things than just
Oh,
play that
yeah.
chord in root position. 1, 3, 5. That's a C major chord. Why don't you
Mhm.
play that right now? Can you play a C major triad? C, E, and G, right? Yeah. So that's a good start because that is the key of this piece, and
Mhm.
it is the root position chord. There are all kinds of ways we can identify different chords, not only by the chord name, but
Yeah.
by its function. So I'm just giving you a hint. Later on,
Okay.
it's generally more important to understand the function of the chord, not just its name. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I would think
Right. So if
that's
this D
something to
minor
think
seventh,
about.
I'm just giving you a quick wink from of what's going to happen later. So the D minor seventh we call the 2 chord, and G is the 5 chord. You sing that all the time in choruses. 1, 1, 5, 2, 6, 1. These are the bass notes of progressions. And the more you understand just the basic harmonic progressions, the more it will improve your playing and memorization
Yeah.
and just knowing what to predict is coming next.
Yeah. The memorization part is
So, do you have just one more piece of a bit of one more piece you'd like to share?
okay. This one is my favorite blues piece. Here's that rainy day. Remember that one?
Oh, wonderful! I love that song.
I love
Good.
it too.
here's what I'd like to recommend. Playing just the left hand alone
Okay.
in a regular time. I'm sure this is no surprise to you. So, you go,
In a regular time, right?
yeah, in regular time, you could even
Yeah.
do it with the coins in the fountain. It's just back to 3 coins. Right.
Mhm.
Left hand alone, and
Okay.
the right hand alone. Right? And then you put the hands together,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And for time immemorial, this has been one approach to practice.
Yes.
But with the caveat that every time, even if you play just left hand, do you need to get something or?
No, I was watching my cat tear
Oh,
up, so
oops.
he's, he's off now.
The mice, well, the cat's away, the mice will play, or the
That's
human's
right.
away,
He
the cat will play.
doesn't like my attention to
Of
keep
course,
away from him.
that's cats for you. So I'm just encouraging you
Okay.
to sing along with just your left hand, sing along with just your right hand. Doesn't even have to be all the lyrics or something. If it's just an ooh or an ah, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. It will help you breathe and keep the flow going.
Good.
So there's just one more thing, and then we probably should go.
Okay.
But this is something Kathy would again highly recommend. Remember how she's always reminding students to breathe,
Oh, yes.
and
And posture.
not just before high notes, but before the phrase.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so you've just done breathe. Now breath and Scooby Scooby. It doesn't matter with the lyrics. The
Yeah.
point, the thing is to breathe, because I'm also noticing, just like Kathy notices, your posture.
I know. I keep have to. I remember you even saying that if you played the piano like I was doing just now, you would never last the whole day. And I remember you talking about that as well, as Kathy's always talking about that.
Sure.
And I
Well,
have to remember to do that all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
the shoulders
Shoulders.
hunched up, and like this. This is cutting off your circulation and your breath.
Oh,
And we're here to enjoy the music, right? So
not
you
some.
know, so keep your body relaxed. You could even like sway a little bit, like I do often at the piano. You know. So I'm feeling the flow.
Yeah.
I'm still breathing, and, and I'm moving gently. Too much
Okay.
movement, it can be distracting or interfere with your technique. But feel free to move a little bit, keeping your
Okay.
center, your core,
Yeah.
right? Have you ever done yoga?
I haven't lately, but I have done
Okay, well,
a bit
that
of it, not
one
too
of the big
much.
principles of yoga is the core, and my
Yes.
posture's not always the best either, but it's easier to see it in someone else. Doctor, heal thyself. One thing, I am always relaxed at the piano, even if it's something very challenging that I'm sight reading. I just go with the flow, as I can do my best, because being relaxed in and of itself helps the body and the mind stay in the moment, stay with the flow.
Yeah. Very good advice. Very good.
I think if I did it right, I believe I recorded this session. If I did record it
Oh,
successfully, no, I may not have, but next time we'll record, because then if you have these, you can review things
yes,
and all my pearls of
definitely.
wisdom. As long as my teeth don't fall out. Just, oh, I'm sorry, you have a dentist appointment this week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh no, but if you're in pain, you want to be out of pain, right?
I know. That's the primary reason to get a tooth pulled.
Good, good, yeah.
Otherwise, I would.
And
Yeah,
don't worry about the dentists have for many, many years been very practical about being sanitary and sterilized.
I know. Isn't
They're
it
really good about
wonderful?
sterilization.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
don't
I
have to worry
trust
about.
him totally
Yeah,
along those lines. Yeah.
good, good. Well, again, all of these things that we shared, keep them in mind,
Yeah,
whether recorded or not. It's you've recorded them in your mind.
I'm gonna write them down as
Yeah.
I.
Well, I think you really you're very receptive. You're very smart. You're responsive to what I'm sharing with you, and I think it will be a
Just
successful team.
a little bit at a time. Yep.
A little at a time, right?
Yep.
And it's good to establish a regular weekly time just because of our biorhythms and practice schedule. The reason I say this is we're more inclined to keep up our practice if we have these small goals, just a little goal each week. And why don't we start out with just a half hour?
Okay.
Keep it short,
Yes.
simple, and focused. And if you could scan your version of the rain, come in from the rain, or I mean,
Rainy day. Uh-huh.
yeah,
Here's that rainy
rainy
day.
day. If because I don't know, I don't have your particular version. When you
Okay.
have a chance, you could scan that, send it to me, and we can go over those two songs
That would
in
be
the
good.
next session. We'll,
Yeah, I have lost how to do scanning. All of a sudden,
oh,
something changed, but I'll go back into it and study it again and figure it out. First time
the
it
other thing
happened, just like no problem, and now I can't do it again. But but I'll
maybe the software has changed. You need to
could have.
update it or something.
Yeah.
But the other thing you could do, if you have an iPhone, right?
Yes.
If you
And take a picture.
stay steady, don't shake too much,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
take a picture.
There you
That'll be a
go.
JPEG. But there's also software for iPhones that will immediately convert it into a PDF. But don't worry about that. Even if you just take regular pictures
Yes.
of the end contents that I asked for of the
Okay.
student book and of the light classics book
Right.
and of the rain song. Even just pictures are fine. When you get around to it, send them to me. But
Me too. Sounds good. Yeah.
keep it sweet, simple, and sweet, and you're
Yeah.
always progressing, but enjoying the journey along the way.
Primarily, that's the main part.
Good.
If
Well, it
you're
should
gonna
be.
enjoy it, might as well do something else, right?
Of course, this is for your enjoyment, and so it gives your cat some time to mess around. We're doing it for the cat too,
I
remember?
think they just want their food, as you know.
Oh, of
Let me
course.
out of here, or come in and get me fed.
How cute. That's
Do you
fun.
have animals?
I've all my life I grew up with dogs and cats. I don't have any pet right now, no. But I love them. I love them, and
Yeah.
well, good. I hope you feel
Okay.
this is a good start.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
if
thank you
Thursdays are
very
good,
much.
my pleasure, my honor. If we can, you just pick a day of the week that's best for you. My time's pretty flexible. I'm just working a lot out of the studio. Each day I have some kind of a deadline, but I work around, my own time, so I can work around your schedule. Let me know what, a good day and a good time is. And unless it's something that I do regularly, I should be able to accommodate that. Okay?
Okay. All
Just
right. Well,
let me know. You don't have to
I'll give
decide
you
right now.
the plans. All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Well, this is a good start, and it's good to see your
Yeah.
smile. We all miss each other, and I miss you
Yes. Oh,
especially.
we do. Yeah. But
Good.
at least we're keeping in touch
Yes, and
and
getting some good
working.
work done in the meantime, too.
Right. Okay.
Good. All
Thank
right.
you, Cody.
Thank you,
Have a
Louise.
great weekend.
Just let me know when that time is that we can start, on a regular basis.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll check that out and let you know
All right, take care. Have a good lesson with Kathy on Monday and
on Tuesday. Yes.
or
I'm
Tuesday.
working towards that too.
Okay.
Joke.
Have fun. Take care. Happy
All right.
practicing. Okay.
Goodbye.
And there it is.
Okay. Leave. All right.
Let's see if it was recording.